outstanding rates, but a huge majority are not paying. And that is why, I've seen there three categories of people. One are very faithful people who come and pay, whether you remind them or not. Second, there are those who need to be reminded. I think even today, some of you might have received a message reminding you that you have until 30th June for 100% waiver on interest. Thirdly, there are those who can only pay when they are caught. Unless they are caught and there's legal action or there's an auctioneer in their property, they will not pay. And that is the biggest problem. But also there's a government. There's contribution in lieu of rates from national government entities that is still owing. And I'll get the exact number, I think it's 3.8. Yeah. Around 3.8 billion from government entities, including Parliament. Parliament is one of the defaulters who owe Nairobi County contribution in lieu of rates. The new Rating Act provided a new procedure where you write to the CC Finance writes to the National Land Commission, listing all government entities owing CILO, and then the PS of Finance is the one who receives that from NLC and is the one who reports back and pays through NLC. That was the change that came with the Rating Act, and there's still been delay in actualizing those provisions because of the regulations in the House, Chair.
Yeah. Senator Sifuna. Chair, Governor, the CS for Treasury sat in that same chair last he was here, and according to Treasury, according to what he told us, is that some of these conversations have stalled because of unavailability of your office to have those conversations. Sitting here today, what do you have to demonstrate the progress that has been achieved in terms of resolving some of those concerns?
Well, we can Governor, write the question. We will take another one. Okay. From Senator Mugen.
Yes, Governor.
Sorry, if I forget, you said what? Evidence to show progress?
Yes, okay. Because he laid the blame squarely on you as a CEO of the county.
You should have called us together. You would not have said those things.
Order, Governor.
Sorry.
The Senator Mugen.
Yes, Governor, I've heard you say that revenue has increased from 8 billion to 13 billion under your stewardship.
13.8.
13.8, Yes. Do you attribute this to efficiency, or you have also increased your rates significantly? What is the percentage you have increased the rates? Then number two, can you say that Nairobians are correspondingly receiving services to reflect this increased revenue from 8 to 13 billion? Personally, where I live, I've never seen a garbage collection from the county government of Nairobi.
Where do you live?
In Nairobi.
Where?
Don't worry where. But
Chair, can you protest Senator Mogeni?
Governor,
I live in the Goreti corner, Wanyero.
The standing orders talk about responsibility for statements of
facts. So actually, not just, this is a general question that generally there is a problem of garbage collection. I drove through Isili yesterday. I actually took a video clip. I will send it to you. There are heaps of garbage in Isili. The same thing with our center here in Kamkunji. So I don't know why we are not seeing a clean Nairobi now that you have increased revenue to 13 billion.
Senator, just write the questions you will answer. Senator Charles.
Chair, and you must bring the governor to order. He waits to a chance to answer. This thing of giving snippets while members are speaking doesn't look very neat. Governor, note this down. I have gone to corrective measures. There were teams that went out. There is the issue of comprehensive data cleansing. There is the issue of demand legal notices, debt recovery initiatives, total energy analysis. I've seen over 3 years in your report that you have given. That is more than 3 years, is almost 95.9% in terms of aging analysis that you have given. On all these 8 corrective measures, how much have you collected comparing what is still outstanding? And then finally, you have said your revenue collection has increased from 8 to 13 billion. But according to CRA, your revenue potential should be 63 billion. So what are you doing to actualize that? Because I know before this projection of revenue collection is, the CRA and that potentiality of Nairobi should be much more, because there's that consistency in Nairobi city has never been achieved. So when you say there is improved efficiency of collection, then you still have this spending. And then finally, you had the CS Mbadi was here, the expert was here. We argued for some time about what national government should do. You have argued in your response that they could be debt swap. With that engagement, how much have you done debt swap with the national government, and how much are you agreeing on settling, as in terms of, I know national government owes you, you owe them. So where is the meeting point to ensure that, because bulk of this outstanding is bought by the national government as opposed. And on the issue of garbage collection, I don't know the efficiency, because even when you drive Wayaki Way and most of our estates, still a big problem in terms of garbage collection.
Governor, you may respond now.
Thank you, Chair. I'm very happy senators are making the same point I'm making, because that collection requires resources. It is a heavily logistical exercise. It's a very expensive exercise. Without these resources, you will definitely not see the kind of efficiency you deserve. An increase of 5 billion or 6 billion will not all go into one thing. You know, it won't all go into garbage. The county provides medical services, roads, a lot of things, you know, Chair, that you know, because you're the ones who look through our audits. Let me answer them in sequence, starting with my senator. The evidence to show progress in terms of what national government, or rather these measures that we're taking, is really correspondence between us. Correspondence to the NLC we can provide, the demands for those amounts we can provide, demands to national entities that we've actually written to, we can also provide. The issue that, if I get it right, that CS Mbadi was on about, and if I'm wrong, you can correct, was on pension debts. And the pension debts matter. In fact, I chaired a meeting that he missed in Treasury to agree on a new formula, because they had been applying the actual deficit wrongly. When you look at funds that are defined benefit funds like lap trust. But on DC funds, we, for instance, have no outstanding arrears when it comes to that, apart from interest. So that is the one meeting that is kept talking about, where I came and gave them. They wanted the views of Nairobi and Mombasa. And I remember that day I left OP and went straight to Treasury, and we gave them our opinion. In fact, we actually pointed out where they are wrong in their calculation, because you cannot have the interest plus the actual deficit being applied on a county entity. It was not about the debts they owe us. It was about how much counties owe pension funds, lap trust and lap fund. And Chair will remember this is a matter I dealt with a lot when I was your chair of labor in this house, up until we passed the county government retirement scheme legislation. So I can provide that correspondence. Chair, what is slowing us down? One, the ability or the teeth to enforce. When you owe KRA, KRA will come for you. And they have all the powers plus police and all of that. For the counties, enforcement is a challenge. In fact, part of why we're working on the Nairobi Metropolitan Police Force, because all our people have is Nirungutu. So I've told you, I owe you this. You go to court to get an injunction. You stop the process. The section 19, if I'm not wrong, or 18, of the National Rating Act provides those remedies. It says that the county government can, one, deny you whatever service, including water, you know. Two, can come and put an agency notice on your property. Three, can collect rent on your behalf in the case of a place that has rental income. Four, can auction. Now, what has been waiting for implementation or execution of that has been regulations, because the same law says the cabinet secretary shall prepare regulations for the enforcement of that. Before, what they used to be, under the Valuation for Rating Act of 1956.
Which, just approach.
in its 1956 law was that you set a valuation court in the county, which we did. You get a magistrate to head the tribunal. Then those with disputes can be able to, question the disputes before producing a new valuation rule. Fortunately, and my senator, this progress, we're the only county that has been able to move to a new valuation rule, 2019 valuation rule. The rest are still in the 80s valuation rule. So implementing it, albeit with a few people who had objections. If you help us get the proper regulations on two laws, one, the National Rating Act. I sit with the governors and mayors from across the world. Capital cities are run through property taxes. Number two, on the sectional properties law. Sectional properties law demands, and I'll give you an example, half an acre in Kileleshwa with one house is paying the same rate as half an acre with 60 houses. Yet they need more services, more water, they use the roads more, etc. Sectional properties will provide that each and every of those units first gets a sectional title by a certain time, and each of them becomes a ratepayer. Even if the amount is not too high.
Of the Sexual Properties Act?
Again, it's the regulation. We've done our regulations. We even did a draft that we shared with the CS that they can adopt, because we're the biggest beneficiary. We've done county regulations.
So, Governor, that is a proper matter to bring before the Senate. And for your information, we have dealt with changes to the Statutory Instruments Act. We've passed, I think, three separate in this last 3 months or so to criminalize delays in operationalization of laws, including failure and delays in passing of regulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That will really help the city.
Chair,
Chair, I just wanted to ask the governor, since this matter has been in the books for the last 3 years, are you able to realize this collection? Because it cannot remain in your books forever. So if it's not possible, can you make proper justification on how you can get it off your books? If you are unable to do it, then you can bring it to the Senate. They can be able to help you to go through that.
Chair, thank you. What my elder sister is not getting, the issue here is hundreds and thousands of people who owe the county rates and are not paying. Now, the only way to sort it out is when the county has the teeth and ability for those services you're saying, on Wanye Road, for garbage, it requires money. It requires resources. It requires equipment. We need to fix drainage in this city. It requires resources. So you're running a city of 7 million people with a 38 billion budget. We definitely cannot have the same quality of life that we want elsewhere. And I'll give you an example. I was hosting my colleague here, Mayor of Paris. And I took her to see one of our projects. And she asked me, Sakaja, how many people do you have? I said 7 million. She's like, oh, she has 2 million. Then she said, and that's Greater Paris. Then she asked me, what is your revenue? When I told her the amount, she was shocked. So what is your budget? I said, I converted it. I asked her what her budget is. It's equivalent of 1.3 trillion Kenya shillings for the capital. We want that quality of life in Nairobi, but you don't want to pay for it. It is not fair. So that is the issue, Senator Dulo.
No, Chair, I agree with the governor, the frustration and challenges they are going through. But the other thing is that for how long are we going to have this on record? If you really feel that you cannot make headways, can you give this matter to the Senate? And then we can be able to see how it can be. You can be assisted. Because we cannot have it forever in books, and you are unable to realize.
Yeah, so that operationalization, I hope that is the right way you say that word. That making it work of those two laws, and that is really why we push those two laws, would be a huge victory for not just Nairobi, Mombasa, Nakuru.
So, Chair, I hear the governor saying that with proper facilitation by law,
yes,
this 62 billion
can be realized.
Can be realized.
Yeah. And once you realize that, you will see the services. We're doing a lot with so little, the little that we have. Let me give you the last example. The Senate graciously has been able to provide for us, in increasing allocations to county. And that one I thank my senator. You know, I used to boast to him that me when I came, I found 15, I left it at 18. Now he's come to 21. You know, so he's performed very well. Do you know of the 1.7 billion that I receive a month, 1.5 is salaries? We want potholes fixed, we want drainage done, we want 7 million people served, and Senator Mugeni's garbage collected. The financing question of the capital must be looked at critically. The financing question. Say on the second question on revenue increase, Senator Mugeni, yes, it has gone up by 55%. What I attribute it to mostly is digitization of all revenue streams. The digitization of all revenue streams and having a no cash policy has really helped the efficiency. Number two, simplification of paying.
So 55% should give us what? From 8 billion, if you increased it by 55, wouldn't it bring us close to 13 billion?
Yes, that's why we collected 13.8.
So the fact...
I've increased revenue by 55%.
Because you have increased the rates.
No. I'm explaining the reasons you asked. The first one was digitization and making it efficient, devolving the customer service centers. Today, across the city, you don't have to come to City Hall to pay. On *647# on your phone anywhere in the world, you can pay your rates. On nairobiservices.go.ke, you can describe your business, print your license with a QR code without going to any office. So that efficiency has helped. Senator Mugeni, the issue of rates increase does not apply because the rates increase was quite minimal. Because what we're doing is 0.05% of of undeveloped site value. And we even did a capping, because for the larger ratepayers, we said that if they increase almost double, or rather doubles your rates, you will not pay beyond that. And so it's a very small category of people. Most ratepayers is 10,000, 15, 20, you know, but the defaulters are the 100 million. And you know, I don't know if data privacy is an issue. I would name people here. That someone is well-to-do, is driving a big car, they're doing business, they owe us 12 million shillings, and they don't want to pay. And we told people, even these rates you can pay month by month in arrears, you know, in installments, you know. So really, it is that issue of can't pay, won't pay until you get me. But today, I'm very happy.
Governor, the way you are talking about those big people, I'm looking at Cherage and wondering whether he knows one of them.
Maybe he's one of them, you know, a big guy.
Chair, you need to protect me. Focus. Let us remain on focus. You know, when you're hunting for antelope, go for the antelope, not the squirrel.
But I hope you're not hunting. Chair, there are big names, political names, big institutions, and something people do not know. This law today does not exempt people like golf clubs. You know, golf clubs are refusing to pay. Huge golf clubs, all these rich people go there to complain about the pothole. But they themselves have arrears. If I list for you, Karen, Mudaiga, Royal here,